In Runes of the Abyss, every dungeon, every room, and every path is crafted with intention. Today, I'm taking you behind the scenes to explore the design philosophy that brings these levels to life. Hello everyone, I'm Nick Latray, creator of Runes of the Abyss. Today I want to dive into one of my favorite parts of game creation, game design, and more specifically, level design. Designing the levels and dungeons in Runes of the Abyss was one of the most challenging yet rewarding parts of creating this game. It's not just about making a space for players to navigate, it's about crafting an experience that feels engaging every time you play. My approach to level design for Runes of the Abyss was centered around two key ideas: exploration and randomness. The game is centered around the idea of rune keys. You start the game with 5 rune keys, and the only way to find more is to unlock bonuses by playing many runs, getting lucky with a randomly generated bonus key somewhere, or fighting elite battles that are tougher to get through than your average trash mob but yield greater rewards. This meant creating environments that are both visually distinct and mechanically diverse. Leaning into my 10 years of experience as a web designer, I knew that I had to start writing ideas down on paper. I'm also a college professor, and I always tell my students to start on paper. Never jump into full production mode without a clear plan, outline, or sketches. So that's what I did. Just like my previous game, Pally, where I created a proposal/puzzle game for my then girlfriend, now fiance, I started with all of these sketches and ideas for a dozen or so puzzles I could implement into each level of the game. This one's a rebus about famous rappers. You can pause if you want to try to decode who they are. Anyways, I did the same thing for Runes of the Abyss. I started with a very general idea of how I wanted my rooms to connect in each level, and then progressed that with some initial ideas of how I wanted the game to work, some general rules about the game. I then created a spreadsheet to keep track of my classes, skills, weapons, and more. So in my Excel spreadsheet, in my game design document, I started with an outline of my classes, my playable characters, to outline the different skills that each character has to get a kind of a first look at possible synergies between characters. Same with the weapons and their possible upgrades to get an idea of all of the craftable items that I will have to create. I also created a second tab for all of the points for each action that you can take within the game and the unlock rewards that those points, total points, yield. And same with mementos. Mementos are bonus items that you get in elite battles from completing elite battles, and they give you a certain field advantage, but also they give the same field advantage to your enemies, and it's up to you if you want to play these mementos or not before engaging in your next battle. The layout, the obstacles, and even the enemies you encounter are all carefully designed to create an invisible path that unfolds as you progress. My goal was to ensure that every level feels purposeful with a rhythm that keeps players on their toes. One of the biggest challenges was balancing procedural generation with handcrafted design. Procedural generation allows for endless replayability, making each run feel unique. However, I didn't want the levels to feel random or disconnected. That's why I combined randomness with handcrafted elements. The rooms, landmarks, and puzzles are designed by hand to ensure that they work with the overall mechanics of the game and provide a memorable experience, while the items, treasures, enemies, and teammates are randomly generated to offer variety and surprise. This is built using a random number generation system, so you might not always get the items or teammates that you need to optimize synergy on every run, but you might have the opposite happen where you have the run of your life because everything lines up for you. I want to say that this is a skill-focused game because you must memorize enemies and layouts, solve challenges, and maximize the combat system to succeed. But like a lot of games, some of that can also be plain old luck. This hybrid approach lets me maintain control over the narrative flow while still embracing the randomness that makes roguelites so exciting. Creating these levels was an iterative process. Early versions of the levels were simple and rough, but through playtesting and feedback, I refined them to better meet the goals of exploration, challenge, and narrative. I would often revisit a level multiple times, tweaking layouts, adjusting the random item or enemy spawner location, and adding new elements to improve the overall flow and experience. This iterative approach allowed me to fine-tune the game's combat and difficulty, ensuring that each room feels challenging but fair. Level design is where the magic of game development really comes to life for me. It's where gameplay, story, and art all intersect to create an immersive experience. I hope that this look into my design process has given you a deeper appreciation for the world of Runes of the Abyss. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know what aspect of the game you're most excited about. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait for you to explore these levels yourself.